Good morning, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, I send you love. Today is, what day is it? The 17th. And so last night I ended up having a dream that, and I can't recall who I was actually with, my family, other people, and water was, there was just this huge flood. Water was rising everywhere, and we all had to escape via these little egg-like pods. And they were types of spaceships, and we had to use those for means of escaping or getting out of the water and quite possibly drowning. My dreams now have been more intuitive, increasing in intuition and guidance, and have been moving away from, dreams where they don't make sense, or terrifying type dreams, or dreams that really make you feel those types of emotional restraints. So that is a huge change for myself, and it's not that I always remember my dreams, because I don't. But when I do, there's a message there in relationship to myself or the collective. So water is a representation of course, emotions, especially when it's associated with the moon. The moon energies are trying to always bring out those hidden aspects of emotions that we have kept under the rug and hidden or locked up under the keys. When we are dealing with sun energies, which is what I'm leading up to here, the sun is in Aquarius, beginning January the 19th and the 20th, depending on where you currently are in your time zone. And Aquarius is the water barrier. Aquarius is also associated with Uranus. So we will have a lot of things taking place here. But when we are thinking in terms of water and then the sun affecting the water, the sun is always a representation of our higher consciousness. It is at the very top of a tree of life, because what takes place that the sun must allow its rays to heat up the land, give us the light in order for the tree to actually manifest successfully. So of course, I'm talking about the tree of life here within us as an individual, but of course, just like trees and plants, flowers on the outside in our environment need sunlight in order to bloom. We too need the sun. So what is taking place at a collective rate, because this is the time that Aquarius is going to be significant in everyone's lives here, is that the water is rising. When you also get a combination of water and sun, you create the boiling point, which creates the steam, which is a representation of ether or spirit in the form of your tree of life, or in the form of alchemy or spirituality, however you want to take this information in. This is a time when we are going to be stepping into the higher mind. Now, what does that spaceship? Of course, all spaceships, when we see a spaceship, whether in our dream state or vision, is always pertaining to higher states of consciousness. because we have to fly up, just like a bird or an eagle has to fly high, or has the ability to fly high. This spaceship can even go above where the eagle can fly to. But also being the egg-like spaceship, I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. In between our hemispheres, in the center, is called the fornax, or fornix, and fornix. So, but it also works with the fornax within the sky, the constellation, but this is also the furnace, translated into furnace, but also when you take an MRI image scale, if you look at the image within the brain of where this actually sits at, it does look like an eagle or a phoenix, however you want to look at it. But it also looks like a hollowed out center that looks like and can look like an egg. The egg. This is the seat of consciousness, because it's also where the ankh kind of resides there, or even if you were to use a regular cross, it goes there, but the ankh has that top oval shape. It is actually an upside down egg, which was actually what I saw back a couple of weeks ago when I made the cosmic egg video. My egg that appeared into my room out of space came down upside down into my room, and a being emerged that I could not see, but was very close to my face still. So here in the center, where the illumination process takes place, this of course is where consciousness becomes its highest visibility, if you will. So please bear with me. You know, I do things a little bit differently when it comes to this type of information, because I have sought to learn it all, kind of. I want to know everything. I kind of wanted to know how things began and how I got here. So that understanding it can quite possibly make it a little bit easier, although sometimes it doesn't make it easier. But still, having an idea in my mind, the thought, the information is there, and then I know that in time when things, when I reach that level, I go, ah. So that's why I kind of do things a little differently here. So, so if you get what I am saying, is that being here in this Aquarius, the sun in Aquarius, we will be tapping into higher states of consciousness. But this is a choice, an individual choice. And it's a drastic change that can go from the lower mind, or, those types of selfish desires, and having to change it and flip it. The scales are trying to really flip here, and it can be quite massive in this type of change and transformation. And if you can't handle that type of change and transformation, that is kind of being forced. then that's where the difficulty is going to come into play here. You really have to be kind of open, regardless of what is taking place. You have to really be mindful of, okay, I'm feeling triggered today, or I'm feeling sensitive today. I'm feeling at odds with myself today. And how can I understand this? I know energy is coming in regardless of our own understanding, no matter what it is. So you have to be vigilant and mindful about what's going on internally. That is how you can process things. That's how you can change things. And it's your choice. The process of that's taking place, again, when we are talking about not just Aquarius, or not just water, not just Uranus. When we are not being our highest self, we are, again, thinking in terms of our lower body, the human that has fallen again. You're thinking in terms of that selfishness that is, again, going to stem more with our sexual region. And that means you're keeping down, you're suppressing the rise of the elements that are needed in order to make it to the cosmic egg within, where the illumination process can take place. In order for the elements to be able to rise, you have to be able to transmute one element into another. If you are feeling angered, you have to change it into finding some sort of peace. If you are feeling fear, you have to change it into finding some type of love within. You have to make what is making you feel bad and decide on having a different outcome. This is your choice. And this is the only way that the rising of the element reaches into the crown and unites you with ether, with that steam, the boiling of the water and the heat of the sun creates spirit. So I hope this gives you a little bit of a heads up. Now, what the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that we had back in December, as well as, again, it kind of uniting there with Mercury, is pushing us along here. And this theme is going to continue on, and it's going to nudge us further into February and for some greater time. So if you aren't finding yourself coming together internally yourself, you have to, you're creating a divine friendship with yourself. Your cocoon. You're connecting more with yourself here, but we're also connecting more with a community. This is about coming together as a self, but as an all now. But remember again, when we are unfamiliar with this type of unity, we have a sense of getting a little uncomfortable. And that type of uncomfortability can make us choose the lesser emotion. And it's up to us as every individual, by choosing the greatest thoughts, emotions, words, therefore actions, we are also not just changing ourselves to become our higher selves, but we are also assisting in the smoother transition along with the collective. The more that we can stay in alignment with love at all times, as best as we possibly can, with whatever arises in our lives, the easier we make it on all of humanity. And this is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. Take care.